Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to another video on Race Mania, this time episode number 20. Still on the road Atlanta circuit because I am looking for another track, but I've just not found anything really yet that I think would be good to use for this series. So either way, got a pigeon at the front, the return of the pigeon, but this one is turbocharged and has a top speed of 100 mph with me driving it, but then again, it's still just a regular three-wheel pigeon in effect, so it will fall over quite easily. In second place, we have the car that needs to win, the Mania Coupe. Then in third is the Pacima street tuned version. Then in fourth, not as bright as it was last time, but still formidably fast car, the Caldera. And then at the back you also see the return of the Supra, this time the drag car version, which has a top speed of over 200 mph. And thankfully, unlike the previous Supra, which went before, but pretty much near the start of the series, this one doesn't wiggle everywhere. So if it gets a bit sideways, it should be able to bring itself back under control. Now then, get on board here with the pigeon from the start and see if everything gets away fairly okay. Okay, there's a bit of hefty contact there from the back already. Everything's already found each other. And that didn't take very long, did it, with how fast the back few cars are. That wasn't really surprising. Although the pigeon, that's already been sent round, it's going to hit into the wall. It's going to just back itself into the wall. So not the most damage in the world. But still, now the Mania, the car that used to win, has now already found itself into the lead with the Caldera up in third, and then the Supra lost a bit of time there, but it looks to be going okay again now. And the pigeon has actually turned itself around to be facing the wrong direction. I'm pretty sure this thing was facing the right way last time I looked at it. So let's get this turned back round now in the right direction, because I do not want to miss any of the action up front. So let's get that going back now in the right direction. And nothing looks to have happened really. The Mania has pulled a bit of a gap over the Pacima, with the Caldera in third and the Prezu right up the back of it now in fourth as well. And that bumper's getting pretty crushed under the front. Okay, the front was actually off the ground there, so the front bumper has seen better days. And if these ones are funky, you're gonna say, okay, the back of the pigeon is actually twerking. Okay, oh, what have I missed here? Something has gone horrifically wrong here. And when you look at the twerking pigeon, everything just implodes in front. Well, the Caldera and the Pacima have been taken round, and suddenly the Prezu is all over the back now of the Mania, which is the car that needs to take victory, remember? And, okay, everything going the wrong way. Okay, well, the Pacima is the car in front, so it's the one that gets dealt with first. The Caldera is just spinning itself across the track. That's now facing the right direction, because I know the pigeon's coming, so I want to get the Caldera back going again as quickly as possible in the right direction, so it doesn't take an almighty whack from the pigeon and take them maybe both out of the round. So let's get this going in the right direction and get it back on the racing line, because otherwise then it will just wiggle even more. Anyway, that's it now going back in the right direction. And the Supra, or the Prezu, as of yet, hasn't actually found the lead. And here's the pigeon now right up behind the back now of the Caldera, but everything still seems to be going. Okay, that front bumper on the Prezu needs to go if I can get an angle to get rid of it at. Which if I can just get a hold of it and then just pull it out the back, problem solved. Now then, the front bumper on the test runs was an issue for the Supra. It would just get stuck under the car and would ping off in random directions quite a bit. Now then, there's still going to be a battle for third soon enough between the Caldera and the Pacima. Still the Mania doing a good job of holding off the much faster, I'm looking about 80 mph faster in terms of straight line speed, Prezu, and then the pigeon, which has a little bit of like a feeling stick out in front of it now, the front bumper. Talking of front bumpers, okay, the Prezu front bumper's off to the side of the track, so that's not going to cause any issues. Now game from the of course, the Supra, the steering wheel's on the correct side of the car, although it doesn't look like I have a seat. Okay, the seat's over there. Okay, so I think this was, okay, as all that, I was talking about the seat being on the wrong side, the Mania has been sent round, and this is the car that needs to take victory, and it's now facing the wrong way. And is it going to get going again in the right direction? Is it turning itself round? Yes, it is. Let's see, this is the car that needs to win, and it's facing the wrong way, and it's now back down into second place. And as I was saying, the seat's over this side, but the steering wheel's over this side, so something in quite the design flaw of seeing in this car. Now we can get on board with the external camera. See, the only thing missing is, well, the front radiator is seeing better days, but I don't think it's actually punctured the radiator, so it should be okay. It shouldn't start overheating. There's Mania going in second place, but I don't think there's much you can do now. Okay, there's a pass here of the Caldera. It made a move up the inside, but it looks like it's going to regret that now. As the Pacema goes, oh, that's a hard hit from the Pacema. I think that may have just taken out one of its wheels there, but the Caldera, it's going in the right direction. And now then, the Pacema, is that just taking itself out? Because is this thing front wheel drive? I'm not sure. But either way, okay, there goes the Pigeon. Oh, the Pigeon has wrapped itself around there. And is it the Pigeon? That's only got one front wheel, so that needs to keep that wheel secure. And now then, the Pacema gets going again with one wheel staying. Okay, that's the spoiler, isn't it? Yep, the spoiler's just hanging off the end of the car. So I'm going to do now, because I'm going to remove the rear bumper, because that's going to cause issues. But I want to leave the spoiler on there because, well, it's not in direct line on the back of the car, so it might be okay just to leave there for now. The Pigeon is a bit wonky. It's still twerking, so at least it's not lost that. Yeah, but it's quite a bit buckled now. And, well, I don't think that spoiler's going to be doing much for the aerodynamics. Okay, that wheel needs to go as well. But I don't know if this thing, if I take the wheel off, if it's going to stop moving, so I'm going to leave it for now. Unless it causes significant issues, then I'll remove the wheel. I think the Pigeon, though, is actually catching up as the Supra is already making its way down into turn 1. Is the Pigeon catching up? Yes, it is. It is definitely catching up. Okay, the Pacema is now smoking as well. But now then, here comes the Pigeon. That's going to be another hard contact on the side. That's ripped the door off. And it's stolen the spoiler, so imagine the two cars there did a bit of a trade, and the Pigeon is actually still going in the right direction. Is it still twerking? Yes, it is. That's the main thing. Now then, where's the door gone from? Okay, I think the doors actually fell off the side of the Pacema. It's making away Pacema. At this rate, I don't know if it's actually going to make it round the second lap. It's definitely going to get onto the second lap, but I don't know whether it's actually going to complete the lap. It's got the Caldera just doing its thing now, really, in a no man's land in P3, although it should be catching up to the Mania, and nothing is going to be catching up to the Pursuit, which is already making its way back into this section now for the second time. The spoiler's now gone inside of the Pigeon. That may be a problem, but yeah, let's just remove that, because it's behind the front wheel. All it takes is one nudge, and that's the front wheel completely destroyed then. So let's get the spoiler out. Okay, that's made the side of the Pigeon a bit bulkier, so might be good when he comes up to try and make an overtake. Okay, the bonnet's gone up, so what's this look like from inside? Just as I thought, you can't see anything from the inside. Okay, I see. What I do see though is a huge ram there. I'll say huge ram. The huge ram in terms for a Pigeon, which that may have broken the engine, because I think the engine has been shoved quite a bit further back. Okay, does the light still work? One of the lights somehow still works, but they don't on the back though. And I think that may have been the last hurrah for the Pigeon, because that is a severely crippled front to it now. The Mania still in second place. The Caldera hasn't actually caught up to it yet. The Pacema's having issues with that front wheel, but it's still going at a decent pace. And the Supra, already coming through this section, isn't that far off already finishing. And there's been a few dominant cars in the past. I think he did get lucky though with the Caldera and the Pacema somehow taking each other out, but still, any way you can take a victory is victory, because these drag cars, you know how they have the piddly front wheels. And the twerking, crippled Pigeon is still going at least. I want to see it maybe actually cross the finish line. You know, probably end up being in last place unless the Pacema retires. And still got the Mania holding on to second place from the Caldera, and the Pacema making its way through the first chicane now, so it's quite some way ahead of the Pigeon. So unless the Pigeon's only hope really is that the Pacema retires, because otherwise one of those two cars would not be through into the next round as things stand. And the Caldera onto the back now of the Mania, just getting a little shove on the front bumper of the Caldera. Hasn't become the traditional scoop as much this time. Still a little bit of a scoop there, but nothing to the extent of what's happened before. And now then, the Pursuit drag car making its way down around the final corner. You see how if something just taps those wheels, then those wheels are going to be completely gone. And then come to the finish line, and then that's a dominant victory for the Pursuit drag car. And let's see how far down this thing actually goes, because I get a feeling nothing's going to even come close to this. Although neither of those lights at the front actually work. And the pigeon seems to have actually found a bit of pace now, out of nowhere really. Okay, the Marama's off the road. That's clearly had contact from the Caldera, which is going in the right direction. So once again, coming to the end of the race, the Caldera picks up a position right at the end, and it's getting close to that victory. It's going to come home in second place, should things stay as the other time. The pursuit is still going. I imagine he just wants to get out of the way of everything. Imagine you may have seen what happened with the Caldera and the Sunburst from last round. Imagine everything's going to be rather smoky from the inside, and indeed it is. But now then, the Caldera now making its way round the final corner now. And structurally wise, this thing's actually fairly okay given the side swipe it took from the Pacema, which did a lot more damage to the Pacema than what the Caldera took. We're coming across the finish line. The Caldera still not quite the victory, but still a good result to come home in second place. But I don't think it's going to get anywhere close to the Pursuit, even if it wanted to, really. Now it just comes to a stop fairly early on, does it? Pretty much. And the Pursuit's still going at this consistent 7 miles an hour. And at this angle, it's going to hit itself into the wall over there. The Pigeon's still twerking, and the Marama has made it around and is going to finish in P3, so a respectable result really, given what happened. I mean, this car was never going to hold off the drag car Pursuit, just with it being that much of a speed difference between them. Still, it's been some good few rounds for the Marama, and the Pursuit, is that going to go into the wall at last? I mean, it's found its way over here, so surely it's going to nudge the wall at some point. And that's going to go for just a little tap there off the wall, so no major damage really. And just imagine it's going as far as possible to get itself out of the way. And now then, still got the Pacema, which is going to cross the finish line. Maybe, oh, that smoke's not good. When you get the puff of smoke like that, that's usually the sign that the death sentence for the car is coming fairly soon, but it hasn't got that much farther to go, and it's going at 70 miles an hour on effectively 3 wheels, even though the other wheel's still attached, and it's still going straight line. Although, see, once the wheel gets sideways like that, all the speed just goes completely out of the car. And then we've got the twerking Pigeon, which you still can't see anything out of from the onboard if you're actually driving the car. That thing actually this looks a lot slower in the cinematic camera. Either way, no, the Pacema, it should actually make it. I mean, it's still steaming away there. Definitely looks a lot more majestic from that camera angle before it changed. And still, definitely looks a lot. This one actually looks faster in this camera angle. But now then, only got one more corner left to go, and the wheel is facing the way that the car needs to turn, so all should be good there. Now then, only got a little bit further to go now. So even if the engine cuts out now, it should just roll over the finish line, really. And the Pacema, it does make it across the finish line to get through into the next round. And it's definitely been in quite a few rounds and somehow just finds a way to scrape through. Like with that wheel, is it actually going to make contact with anything? Even if it wanted to, that wheel was definitely not going to have allowed that. And now then, it's just on the Pigeon to actually make it to the finish line. So yeah, from when the bulge from where I took out the spoiler, that didn't actually do any damage to the car, it just stretched outside of it. The last piece of contact though crippled it, so I don't think any of the previous Pigeons, whether it be the dustbin one or the van one, actually made it to the finish line, did they? They may made it once before, but still, there's nothing not being as determined as this one. This one literally threw itself out of this round, addendum as well, and it's still twerking away. Imagine, I'm going to be interested to see if it still twerks once I actually stop the car after it gets to the finish line, because it's not smoke or anything, so it's going to finish the round at least. But then for the next round there will be a new front placed car and a new second place car, because the Marama and the Pigeon were first and second coming into this round. Still, I got some there's some interesting camera angles. I should say that's a very close camera angle there from the for the Pigeon. I'd like it if some of these camera angles panned out further. I think I said that in a few videos before. Actually, I think something's broken there in the front. I think it might be the front suspension, which is actually broken. It does look rather low on the front. But now they've only got a few more corners left to go. And what is that hanging down in the front? That's something, I think, suspension related. It does look fairly low as well, just despite how crumpled the front of it actually is. And then still twerking its way round the final corner. It's actually going to finish. I have no idea. I don't actually think it's going to make it to the finish line before the start of this video, but the Pigeon does make it across the finish line at least. Let's see now if it wants to leave a lasting impression, quite literally, on any of the other cars, or is it just going to come to a fairly abrupt stop, which is like it's going to do. And it's still twerking even though it stopped. And then just now to get all the cars lined up. So the Pursuit went the furthest, so you can get this one out of the wall first. And besides the front bumper being removed and one of the lights missing, I don't think there's a whole lot wrong with this car. I mean, the other light doesn't actually work, so smashed out the bulbs but not the casing, which is a rather interesting result to happen. Then we've got, oh, there's the spoiler that I ripped out from the Pigeon on the other lap. And you can just see how far, at 7 miles an hour, the Pursuit actually went, because it's back to the old days where I drove the car to see how they still felt. The Pursuit went miles after the finish line. I mean, there's getting out of the way, and then there's taking it to the extreme, and you just wanted to preserve itself for the next round. Just line up with the Mania here in second place, the car which put up a good fight until the S's section. And now then, the Pursuit, it's slow getting going, but it does still move though. Remember I had this problem with it last time from the last episode where it just completely stopped, but eventually did come back to life. But now then, it has got some pretty good speed now that it's actually moving. The only fear is when it stops, it's just going to veer straight into the Mania. Although you get it under control fairly soon and can line it up in second place. I think the engine may have just expired right then as well. So pretty decent timing there, and it's near enough in line, I think. And then the Caldera, which quietly went about his business and came out in second place. Oh, it's sliding though. Okay, can you just avoid the wall? I think I just nudged it on the front there. That definitely looks like a bit more damage, but still nothing major. Anyway, it's after the finish line, so even if I did total it on the wall there, it doesn't really matter because it's through into the next round anyway. Though we do get it now finally under control. I'll line it up next to the Pursuit, and then finally, not the Supra, finally the twerking Pigeon, which was even twerking when it was stopped. This is going to be an interesting drive. This was doing, what, 30-ish miles an hour before? And he just hits his own door out of the way. That's where the door went then, okay. And it's going up to 50, over 50, it's going up to 60 miles an hour there whilst twerking. So, effort points for the Pigeon, definitely. Let's see if we can get these things stopped though, because it's getting a bit wiggly. Okay, that's way too far. Yeah, I overestimated how good the brakes were on this thing. Anyway, let's get it just turn around and lined up with everything else. But I already think I have to give the award for best surviving car. Okay, is the steering gone? The steering has now broken. Yep, the steering's gone. So maybe that's why it wasn't going very fast. So I'm going to have to leave the Pigeon there. So yeah, the award for best surviving car definitely has to go to the Pursuit, because anything missing really is the front bumper. Everything else is in near enough working order, though the dented radiator. But the back, I want to give it to the Mania, but the back of it is quite bent up actually. So anyway, remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Remember to check out the links in the description to like my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and all of them. Definitely give me a follow on all of them as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.